Hey, what's up? My name is Kristen. In today's video, we are going to do another video in the goal setting series where I'm prepping for my 2023 goals using my own DIY goal setting system. Today's video, we're going to talk about what my goals actually are going to be, at least at this point in time. So if that sounds interesting to you, please make sure you're subscribed, and I'll be right back. In the last video, I talked about what my categories are for my goal setting system that I'm creating for myself. Traditional goal setting systems that are popular on the market right now are just a little too overwhelming for me, so I'm trying to do my own thing. So these are my categories. I talked about it in the last video. I'll link it up here in case you missed that one, but let's talk about what my actual goals are going to be for 2023. So this is my list of annual goals that I set up based on my categories here. So, and I did use the color coding. I should have brought the markers over here, but these markers are the Erin Condren dual tip, dual ink markers. The highlight is the chisel tip side, and then the writing is the fine point side that matches, and those are all in one single marker, so it's easy to have a coordinating little set there. So I went ahead and wrote out all my goals that I could think of, and kind of dialed in a little more than these suggestions I put here. So let's just get right into it, and I'm just going to read these to you and maybe talk a little bit about why I chose them. So for the fun and family category, I would like to read daily, and I have a note here. I don't know if this is a little too ambitious. In the morning, I want to read a nonfiction book, and in the evening, I want to read a fiction book. So a nonfiction book can be something like Atomic Habits or The Daily Stoic, something like that. Just basically, I want to find a nonfiction book, and a lot of times, I think people think self-help with that, but I'm also really huge into history, and since I've finished my degrees, I'm not really getting a lot of that history anymore, and so I would like to maybe find some books that are scholarly still, not just New York Times bestsellers about history, and maybe find a couple that I can sprinkle in throughout the year. Let's see. Oh, and then the other note I have here about fiction books and in the evening is this doesn't have to be me reading in bed before I go to sleep. I have a note here that I can listen to an audiobook while I walk. I usually walk in the evenings while my son is at his tennis practice for an hour, and then I get a nice good 45-ish minute walk around the neighborhood where the tennis courts are. And so most of the time I'll be listening to an audiobook. Lately I've been doing podcasts or just talking to my husband on the phone, but I think I would like to make an effort to listen to something. Next up, I have Formula One here because this year I discovered that I love Formula One. I'm obsessed with it. I never really got into a sport before, but yes, since Drive to Survive came out on Netflix, well, not since it came out, because I guess it has been out for 4 or 5 years, maybe. I think we're about to do season 5. I never watched it until this year. I binged the whole series. Only because my husband is into car racing. He never really watched Formula One religiously, but someone he knew wanted to watch a race one day. They watched it, and then it just kind of snowballed from there. And then my husband told me, hey, you should watch that show. I watched the show, and now I can't stop thinking about Formula One. I'm sorry. So I would love to go to a race. There's 3 races in the United States. In May, there's the Miami Grand Prix. October is the US Grand Prix in Austin, Texas. And in November, they're brand new races in Las Vegas. They're very expensive. Austin would be the most convenient and probably the cheapest as far as travel goes because we're only about 2 hours away from Austin. I don't know if this will happen. It's on the goals list that it would be really cool to go to a race. Let's see. If anything, the very least that will happen as far as my goals, my fun goals for 2023 is I'm gonna watch all the races on TV. So that's a goal. Date nights. When my husband is in town, I would like to go on a date night, and he's usually home every month. I usually can count on seeing him a couple of days each month. And on one of those days, I'd like to go on a date night. Something we plan in advance, not something that we're just like, hey, let's go to the Mexican restaurant. Like, I actually want to plan out like a fun date. Minecraft is on here because I love Minecraft. I love it so much. I haven't played at all this year. And I've been doing other things that are also fun, but I just kind of like let Minecraft kind of drift off to the back burner. I really want to get back into it. There's a community that I'm a part of that I love dearly, that I've checked out of lately, and I just want to get back into it. And so my very baseline goal for that is just to at least build a solo world. I want to start it from the beginning and beat the dragon, go to the end and get all the stuff. I don't know, if you're a Minecrafter, you know what that is, but it's not going to be hard to do that. It's just, I just want to do it this year. I'd love to take a family trip. And I was thinking about going to Boston in February. My son has a week off of school in February. So that may or may not happen. That's pretty close to the beginning of the year. We're in November now, and I don't have anything like booked or scheduled out or anything for that. So that might not happen, but I would like to do a family trip, which brings in this cruise line that I have here. I was thinking about doing a cruise over Christmas. So those are just some options. At the very least, maybe we can just go to Dallas, or maybe we can turn the Austin Formula One race into a family trip. Who knows? I don't know. It's just something that's on my list. Like, let's take a trip, let's do something. And then the last thing I have here is to call my parents. I am terrible about keeping in touch with anybody I love. I just am. I can't help it. It's like an out of sight, out of mind thing. It does not mean anything. Like, it literally, like, I know some people will be like, well, if you cared about me, you would call. That is not true. That's just not how it works in my brain. And I need to go ahead and remind myself to call my parents. At least email them. I can call my parents. I need to do it. So that's on the list. So let's move on into the home section. These are just projects I want to do in the house. I want to upgrade our current security system to something that's integrated with our smart home system. I want to work on my half bathroom. I have some supplies already that I've accumulated over the year. I just want to kind of give it a refresh. We want to work on the outside of our house. We need to get the gate refinished. We need to do some landscaping projects. I'd love to get the house painted. Honestly, I'd love new windows, but we didn't win the, Powerball last night or whenever it was. So, windows are expensive. And the other thing is, we're gonna need a new dishwasher this year for sure. Our dishwasher is struggle bus. And then our microwave is about 100 years old. So we just have a countertop microwave, and I'd love to replace that. It doesn't even have to be an expensive one. It's just the one we have is showing signs of, wanting to die soon. Like the other day, we put something in there and it didn't, when you hit like start, the light was on as if it was on, but it wasn't like going. Like, how you can hear the microwave going? Like it wasn't cooking anything. So, but the timer was going down. Anyway, it's gonna die soon. We gotta think about replacing it. Financial goals. This is really just savings. I just wanna save for things. My son will be needing braces. I will need a car down payment eventually, and so I think it would be nice to start saving a little bit for that. The home projects we want to do, we'll need to save for some of the more big ticket items. The trips we want to take, we'll need to save for those. And then I just have future, adding money into the savings account for the future. Health and wellness. I would like to continue staying gluten-free. This is really just like a maintenance thing. I am not celiac. I don't have Crohn's disease. I just have some other issues. So gluten-free is not like mandatory. I basically, if I eat gluten, I get a lot of inflammation and I bloat really bad. Like I basically can go from like my normal size to looking like I'm about like 6 or 7 months pregnant, like within minutes of eating bread. But I don't get like sick. So it's not, there are times when I just lose like the willpower and I just want to eat a piece of cake or, you know, eat flour tortillas with my fajitas at the Mexican restaurant or eat the bread at the restaurant. Like there's just some times where I just cave. I want to not do that because I do deal with the repercussions from that for at least a week. And I don't know, I just want to keep staying gluten-free, keep drinking my water, keep doing what I need to do to stay feeling good and having good energy. Other things are a new dentist that our current dentist is, I love our current dentist, so this is really, really hard, but they're really far away and they're very expensive. It's basically like a whole day. They're so far away. I have to take my son out of school to go do it, and then everything, it's just very expensive. There's so many other things that I can think to pay for than just doing something I hate doing, which is going to the dentist. And so I'd like to find a newer dentist or a new dentist that's closer to my house and cheaper. Okay, that's easy. Eye doctor. We just need to go to an eye doctor. We put it off and it's just been, I don't even know the last time. My son gets his eyes checked like at his like annual physical thing. But like my husband and I both need new glasses. My husband has some issues with his vision that's a big ticket thing that actually should go in the savings thing, but that's just stuff we need to think about doing. And then I'd like to get an ADHD diagnosis. I don't talk about this a lot, but I am almost certain I have ADHD. I hesitate to say I do, even though I kind of know that I do because I haven't had it officially diagnosed by a medical professional. And I think that's like dangerous. You shouldn't self-diagnose yourself, but sometimes you just know, sometimes you know. And so I would like to go about getting an actual diagnosis. And so that's something that I have written on here because for me, it's just not a priority. Like I don't know. I feel like I have it. I have my own coping mechanisms. I don't obviously take any medication because I don't have a diagnosis, but I don't know. I just feel like that would be nice to know, right? It's important. Work and learning. I need to officially finish my alternative certification program for teaching so that I can get hired full-time for the 2023-2024 school year, teaching at either a middle school or a high school. I will be certified as a social studies teacher in the state of Texas, and there are 2 school districts near my home that I would like to get hired at. So I'm basically done. I'm done with all the coursework and I'm done with half of the observation hours. I'm currently substitute teaching every now and then sporadically as my schedule permits. And I'm really thinking that for the 2023-2024 school year, I could probably get hired at one of the schools near me. So that is a goal to work on. The last thing is the biggest one, and that is creativity and content. If you're watching my channel, that's the content. That's what I'm talking about. Instagram, I'd like to start blogging again. I have a whole lot of stuff here. I don't really want to get all into that. I'm sure you could just pause and zoom if you wanted to read it. But it's just basically, I want to get like a streamlined like system put in place to where creating content remains fun and like exciting for me, and also like gives you some value, and just basically, yeah, I want to do it to where I don't burn myself out because I love it and it's so much fun, but I don't want to like freak out and like stop doing it, right? I also have creativity on here because there's a lot of things that I've noticed. Anytime I do like a really creative project, it just like energizes me like so much, like just mentally. And so I wanted to see how I could incorporate that into my content. I don't even know how to explain it. It'll be something that I figure out as I go with my goals. And the last thing I have here, I just had written out the next steps that I should take is I need to select a main focus for each month or quarterly, like each month, or sorry, each quarter, I need to select a main focus and then divide that out each month. And then I need to make sure to check my calendar, because on my goal setting mistakes video, I had noted that I never like combine my plans with my goal setting, and I might try to do too much or intend to do too much for like my goals when I'm just too busy physically with just life to be able to devote time to that. So check my calendar. And then I want to reevaluate daily, weekly, and monthly routines to accommodate for goal-related actions. So I just need to make sure when I'm sitting down to plan that I'm putting my goals in my plans. That's really all that means. And then monthly reflections are important, and I've noticed that they've been like really helping me stay grounded with my goals, and I want to implement them into the upcoming month. So I want to take like any lessons that I've learned from doing my monthly reflection and like incorporate that into the upcoming month. And any goals that I may have fallen short on just because of time, or maybe it was just too ambitious and I thought I could get more done, I want to like, reevaluate, do I need to continue working on that same goal, that kind of thing. Yeah. So these are my goals for 2023. I'm really like excited to dive into these and to like get going and get started. It's currently, when I'm filming this, it's only November. So really I'm going to have like the whole month of December to keep like reflecting on this and pondering and thinking about it, and really making sure the things that I bring into 2023 are going to just be like solid goals that I really want. Like I'm not gonna like forget about a goal in February because I never really cared about it in the first place, which is what my problems were with the other systems that I was doing. So this is giving me a whole lot of time to really think about it. So yeah, that's it for me. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. And if you really liked it, please consider subscribing, because I do post goal-related videos on my channel every week. And then I also have planning videos and other related lifestyle content. So if you like that sort of thing, you're probably gonna like my channel. So I'll see you in the next one. Bye.